back when the UFC came out, right? Anybody remember that? Like 1995 or something like that, or 94. Like that's about the time that I started looking at jiu-jitsu, because I've been martial arts my whole life. And Will I started when I was 7, which was exactly the time that he was born. So I know my mother was looking for something to keep me occupied while he was a baby, right? So right around the time he was born, I got stuck into martial arts, right? Thank God, right? And so then when he was 4, they stuck him into martial arts, right? So he's always been kind of right there along with me in almost everything that we did, right? In high school, he got kind of sidetracked and would show up to the karate school for sparring, and that's about it. Every once in a while. He'd come in and kick the crap out of a bunch of people, and then not show up again for like 3 weeks. But so when I started doing jiu-jitsu after the first UFC, I was like, man, I gotta go find some grappling or something, because there's obviously something to this, and I don't know how to fight down there. So we didn't have any jiu-jitsu, and so I started training with wrestlers and judo people and pancration people, anybody that had grappling experience. I started training with them, right? And so and he was right there, along with me, and then I went in the Army, and while I was gone, I intermittently trained a little bit, and then when I came back from the military, he started training again, right? And then he was hit and miss. Then I moved out here, 2003, I moved out here. He followed, you know what year that was?
2005.
So 2005, he moved out here, and he trained. I made him train. I would get him up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, like literally drag him out of the bed. Say, if you're going to live here with me, you're going to train. All right? I'd drag him out of the bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he hated it. But I was like, whatever, you're in my house, my rules, right? And then he moved out a little while after that. And so, he actually moved into the back area of a jiu-jitsu school. And so he lived at one of my friend's jiu-jitsu schools for a while, and he would train there. And but he kind of was almost stagnant, I would say, for a couple of years, And then once I took over this place, when I bought this place, he started training again, right? And so he's I think he and Mike Landis got their purple belts together, right? Who was that, your blue belt?
Mars.
Yeah, Mars. Did you?
Mars did my blue belt test with me.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you got your purple belt with my wife.
You forgot your belt and your gi. You forgot your belt and your gi. And then Mr. Harris didn't have his belt either, and just had a gi top. So he's wearing a brown belt to my test.
Super professional. He's really professional. Yeah. So Will's been training a long time, and and especially in the last 3 or 4 years, he's kind of been foregoing kind of other things in life to focus on this, right? And because he's my brother, I feel like not only do I want him to be a better black belt than I was when I got my black belt, just because I want all of you guys, any of you guys, when you get your black belts, you should be a better black belt than I was when I got mine. That's how I feel. But on top of that, because he's my brother, I don't want anybody ever questioning whether or not he deserves his black belt, because he's my brother and I gave him his black belt, right? I don't want anybody ever questioning that, so I force him to be at a higher standard, so I never get questioned, and so that he never gets questioned. Oh, you got his black belt because he's Jeff's brother. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think that anybody that rolls with him on a consistent basis can say that he's not there. Joseph George isn't here, and Joseph had said to me Joseph's a brown belt that's been into a lot of different schools, and he said that he said to me one time that Will's better than most of the black belts that he's rolled with. And so that makes me feel proud, right? He doesn't listen to me nearly as much as I would love him to, but part of that's probably because we're brothers, and so it's kind of a big deal. He's my second black belt ever, so it's only the second black belt I've ever promoted, and so for all you purple and browns, right, it's a race now, right? So you can get number 3, so. yeah, he's you know, Mike Landis and Mars know that, you know, Will's in here, you know, the middle of the day sometimes training. Last year for a good portion of the year, he and I would get in here in the middle of the heat, actually in the other gym where it was 110 degrees sometimes in the day. We would get in there and we would do an hour of sparring, right? We'd do an hour of sparring in the middle of the day when it was 100, 105, 110 in the training area. We'd come out and our gis would be soaking wet like we just went for a swim.
I had to hang it outside so that they would just like drip dry, so I couldn't put it in the car to bring it home. So we've had some Friday nights like that before, though. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now you're flash.
You see the red stripe?
No, the red one.
That's good.
Looks pretty. Man. It's been a long road. Taken a lot of beatings from all my friends here. And, so many people to thank. But, I have to thank Jeff for bringing me here and like giving me the opportunity to like be poor and train jiu-jitsu. You know, because for the past, I don't know, 8 years, I've just been kind of trying to focus on jiu-jitsu and not worry about like having a job, or, you know, I worked here teaching, and this is my goal, you know, like it's a relief, you know, to strap this on, but I know like there's a ton of work ahead, you know, like I'm going to compete with this thing this year, so I'm going to have to work pretty hard. There's so many people that I could thank. I gotta just, thank Jeff, my brother, Professor Jeff, allowing Coach Jackie, like she's always supporting me, and Sadiq spent a lot of time training with me in the mornings. Like that was some of the most valuable training I've had. And Mars has like been, you know, by my side for, you know, all this time since I moved here. I met Mars, and like, you know, whether it be like I'm at another place training, I think we always manage to stay in touch. And Mike Landis and I, like, I've been fortunate enough to train a lot more than him, but he's, you know, he's come up with me. We got our purple belts together, and he's one of my toughest training partners, and probably the most regular right now. And Coach Effie's been awesome.
Woo!
Yeah, she's been very important to the process and supporting me, and I also, people aren't here, but I don't see Anthony here. Yeah, Anthony has been there along the way, beating me up like in the garage in the morning and smashing me down. Like he's a big, huge guy. I think I've maybe submitted him once in my life, and it was with a knee bar. That I wasn't expecting. He's nearly impossible to choke. And like people that aren't here. Early on, I got to train with Brad over there in the corner, and Roy Dini. Big, like, I have to really thank, you guys don't know, a lot of you don't know who Mike Kusi is, but he owns the Stronghold Gym, and he allowed me to live in the back of the gym. So I was living in La Mesa, and he's in Point Loma, and I would ride my scooter. I was working a night job, and I would ride my scooter down in the morning to train with Mike Kusi, and then ride from Point Loma back to La Mesa and sleep. And I was getting kind of tough. And Mike's like, well, why don't you just move into the gym? So I lived in an office for about a year and a half, 2 years before Jeff asked me to come up here. And so Mike Kusi's been a big part. And all of you, like, I'm not just gonna, I can't name all the names, but everybody here is like helping me along the way. My kids, man, like, without the kids, like, you know, they really kept the process easier, you know, lightened up jiu-jitsu for me. You know, I teach quite a few kids classes, and some of the tough days in jiu-jitsu when you're training, it makes it a little easier when you've got, you know, you've got these over here. Yeah, I just encourage everybody to keep training, whether it be like 1 day a week. You know, keep grinding, you're going to get there someday. I put in, you know, six days, like maybe I'm not training all those days, but I'm teaching or training at least 6 days a week. So that's the time I put into this. And I may not be the best new black belt out there, but I'm going to go out there and test myself with it. Sorry. All right.
Good.